Hi everyone, my name is Mashanta and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to take you through my favorite nudish brown and brown lipsticks in my collection. I've picked 10 of them. I hope you'll find this video useful if you're in and around my skin tone. So these are all the lipsticks that I have and I'm going to go through them in order of light to dark. By the way, I don't have any foundation on my face even though I've made my eyes a little bit and put a little bit of blush. That's only because I felt it was looking too dead for me to come here barefaced. So I've tried to add some color to my face, but my skin is bare. So first I have this lipstick from Dior. This is the Dior Nude Style Velvet in the shade 300. It's a stunning color. It's a perfect nude for my skin tone. I used to wear this for work almost all the time and I love the way this formula feels as well. So I'm just going to quickly swatch it for you. It's like this soft milk chocolate brown with like a hint of purple or lilac in it.
I woke up in my bed, but you lay next to me.
I don't know if you can see, and in fact when I come closer I find it has a hint of cool pink in it as well. And this formula is very velvety smooth. Smells amazing. It smells like, I don't know, it smells like cloth, like a silk chiffon cloth, and it feels that way as well. Super pretty. And it's weirdly, I wouldn't say it's like 100% transfer proof, but it's definitely like 90% transfer proof. You can hardly see the color and it feels super comfortable on the lips. It is quite pigmented. Honestly, this lipstick from Dior was so good that I was tempted to run out and buy some more. It's also been in my collection for a while, at least 2 years, and I see no difference in the performance over time. It feels, I think the word velvet is the perfect way to describe it. So this name is very, very apt. It's the Dior Nude Style Velvet. Velvety soft, velvet. It's very plush, comfortable, not overpowering. The scent is perfect. I really, really like the way this lip color feels and looks on my skin. This is the Dior Nude Style Velvet in the shade 300. I'm going to take this off and come back. Next, I have this KIRO Beauty lipstick and this is in the shade Nutmeg Nude. KIRO Beauty is a made in India beauty brand and this has been the brand that has impressed me the most in the past few years in terms of quality of the lipsticks. Yes, it is slightly highly priced compared to the other Indian brands out there, but I am very, very impressed with the quality and I've had this in my collection for at least 4 years now. Still seems to smell fine, still seems to perform fine. So this is Nutmeg Nude and it is like the perfect nude for someone of my skin tone. It's like a liquid matte lipstick, but of course if you're lighter than me then this could look a little deeper on you. So just bear that in mind. I'll keep shade references for my skin tone in the description box below. That's one swipe. It's a very thin formula. It's a thin liquidy formula that dries down matte. And I also find that even though the formula is thin, you don't need too much of the product to give it enough pigment. I would describe this as a nudish brown with a peach undertone to it. I also really like the doe foot applicator on this lipstick. I find it's very easy to control. In fact, I can feel it drying down right now. And when it dries down to a super comfortable finish. This might look very different based on your skin tone and undertone. So just keep that in mind as I'm swatching through all lipsticks that I have. You can see like I have not used any lip liner. I've just used one swipe of the lipstick, but it really makes my lips look very, I wouldn't say too plump. It's not like, for example, the Charlotte Tilbury Honey Blur formula. It does dry down to a bit of a tacky finish, but for the price, I am very happy with how this performs. And it's mostly transfer proof, as you can see. But I have noticed that if for heavy meals or coffee, what happens is a bit of feathering. So it starts chipping away from the middle of your lips, so it's definitely something that you would need multiple touch-ups of during the day. But as far as quality goes, I'm still super impressed. I think the packaging is also spot on. Like this lipstick is 4 years old, and like nothing has chipped away. The lipstick still smells the same, performs the same. So I'm very impressed. This is Nutmeg Nude by KIRO Beauty. By the way, if you're curious about what I've done on my face, I'll include that in the description box as well. Next, I have this Beauty lipstick, and this is in the shade L'Avenue. And a moment for the packaging, because I think it's such a lovely cuboid type packaging which really stands out. And this is in the shade, oh god, I just dug my nail into it. This is in the shade L'Avenue. It looks a lot more maroon, red in the bullet, but it's actually more brown, which when I swatch you will see. So you can see it's a real, I would say, reddish brown. I love the formula. It's a very satiny, comfortable lip balmish formula.
Next to me, for the time, and my eyes started watering.
In some lights it actually looks maroon, in some other lights it looks brown. I don't know how it's coming across in the camera.
Everything's so bright.
This is L'Avenue from the Merit Satin Lip Formula. Think of it like an extremely pigmented tinted lip balm. It's very comfortable, doesn't weigh my lips down at all. In fact, if you have dry lips, then I think this formula is something that I would highly recommend. It does have a bit of a glossy finish, so it won't be very long lasting. For example, it does transfer, but because it's so pigmented, even if it transfers, I'm sure it will stay put for just 5 to 6 hours. So this is something I really like as well. I also have they have a pure matte version, but I don't have any browns in that version. This is the Merit Beauty Signature Lip Lightweight Lipstick in the shade L'Avenue. Next, I have one of my favorite lip formulas. This is Lisa Eldridge, and the shade is Velvet Sorcery. It's a typical brown, I would say more a milk chocolate brown, which comes across as kind of nude in my collection. In fact, when I swatch it, I think it looks like a more deeply pigmented version of the Dior Nude Style Velvet formula. And as I'm swatching it, I can see that it's a bit of a cool tone brown with hints of pink in it. It's definitely very similar to the Dior lipstick. The only difference is I think this is 3-4 shades deeper than the Dior lipstick. Ooh. Very, very similar. And somehow when I look at myself in the viewfinder, I find that I can see a bit of the cool lilac-y undertone as well. Very different, because in my memory this was like a more warmer milk chocolate brown, but apparently not. As far as formula goes, it's a matte lipstick, extremely comfortable. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a creamy matte. In fact, this formula and the Dior formula also feel very similar. The only difference is I feel the Dior formula feels a bit lighter, whereas this one you feel like you got something on your lips. It is not like 100% transfer proof. It does transfer, as you can see, but because it's so pigmented, you don't mind the transfer. You know that your lipstick is gonna stay put for a while. One of the very, very nice, comfortable matte formulas. In fact, I feel in the past 2-3 years, brands have really upped their game when it comes to comfortable matte formulas. So I think right now, every brand is coming out with such brilliant lipstick formulations. It's getting harder and harder for brands to differentiate amongst each other. This is Velvet Sorcery by Lisa Eldridge, and we are already done with 4 lipsticks. Next, I have the Makeup by Mario lipstick formula, and this is in the shade Nicole. It is a cool tone brown, again a slightly deeper version of Lisa Eldridge Velvet Sorcery. In fact, I would say they look kind of similar, but when you see side by side, you can see that Makeup by Mario has a bit of red undertone, whereas the Lisa Eldridge one has a bit of cool toned pink lilac undertone. So that's where they're different. Ooh, in fact, the warmer undertone, the deeper browns look better on me than the other ones, I feel. Ah, this is such a pretty color on me.
It's alright without you. I wouldn't be.
I'm gonna take a minute to admire this lip color on me. This is so good. This is so good. In fact, from a formulation standpoint, it is as comfortable as the others, like as the Dior Velvet and as the Lisa Eldridge one. It's not heavy, doesn't weigh me down, equally pigmented, and does slightly dry down but not too much, so it will transfer, but not too much, you know. I think the only difference is this is a bit of a thinner formula, a bit of a drier formula, so it doesn't feel like you have much on. In decreasing order of comfort, I feel this one followed by the Nude Style Velvet, the Dior Nude Style Velvet, followed by Lisa Eldridge. These, all of them are comfortable, but the heaviness that you feel on your lips sometimes, right? Like I definitely felt with Lisa Eldridge, I could feel that there was something on my lips. With these others, I couldn't. And I'm comparing these because all these three are creamy matte, so the closest in sort of formula. Merit Beauty lipstick and the KIRO Beauty lipsticks are very different formulas, so I'm not even comparing them. But compared to these three mattes, I think this is the most comfortable, followed by the Dior Nude Style Velvet, followed by Lisa Eldridge. I have a video where I've swatched all of the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks that I have and the Makeup by Mario lipsticks that I have, and by far Makeup by Mario has to have some of my the Suede lipsticks are one of my favorite lipstick formulations ever. My next lipstick is again one of my favorite lipstick formulations, and this is from Pat McGrath. So I have the Pat McGrath lipstick. This is the matte Trance lipstick in the shade Flesh 3, and this is how it looks. It has a bit more red in it clearly, and you can see the bullet is super delicate, so it might break on me at any time. And you know, it is so fascinating for me when I swatch these browns lipsticks together, because you can see how much more red this one has. In fact, I find this one and the Merit La Avenue lipstick look very similar in the amount of red that they have in their undertone. But of course, formula wise, the Merit is a satin lipstick and a lightweight lipstick, whereas this is like a creamy matte lipstick. That's one swipe.
I wouldn't be here. Beautiful, sexy.
Oh, this is looking redder than usual for some reason. Maybe because I have a lot of red notes on my person today. But the red in this lipstick is really standing out. Wow, this is such a interesting formula. Pat McGrath, like, it is a matte lipstick, right? So highly pigmented, very easy to put on. You just like a single swipe application. But when you apply, it feels like a satin lipstick. Like, so it glides really effortlessly. Whereas the other lipsticks, the matte lipsticks that we tried, be it the Lisa Eldridge, Makeup by Mario, or even the Dior lipstick, they didn't glide as easily as this one. So it really, I don't know what is there in the formula. It's, think of it as a more slippery matte lipstick, but not a glossy finish, you know. Definitely transfers a lot also, but because it is a pigmented formula, I don't think you have to worry too much about it rubbing away. The one challenge that I have with this lipstick is they do break easily. Like, you can see how damaged this is, and every time I use this I'm scared, and even the component is a bit shaky. I don't know if you can see. It is shaky, it doesn't sit properly, and it's a little annoying, right? Because these lipsticks are priced at a premium, so you would expect the packaging, all of that to be, you know, absolutely watertight, but clearly it isn't. So that's something I would want you to keep in mind. In fact, I think their Liqui Lust matte formulas are also very good. They do have another brown as well in that. I think it was Nocturnal Armor. I don't really remember. I'll just put it as an image later in the post. As far as lipsticks goes, it's really good, but you know, there are those cons that you have to keep in mind in terms of how brittle the lipsticks are, and the component, the packaging itself is not very high quality, which is a disappointment when you consider the price that you're paying for this lipstick. All that being said, this is still one of my favorite browns in my collection. Anytime I feel I want a rich brown for my face, I remember Flesh 3, so it's very top of mind for me. And as I'm swatching it next to the other browns that I have in my collection, I realize how much red is there in it. So just something for you to keep in mind. This is Flesh 3 from Pat McGrath. Next, I have an interesting lipstick. This is still very new to my collection. This is the Haus Labs Le Monster Lip Crayon in the shade Mahogany Matte. I haven't extensively used this lipstick yet, but I have used a berry lipstick from the same shade range and I really enjoyed how it feels. So this is how Le Monster Lip Crayon looks. It's like a true deep brown. I think would look great on my skin tone. I really like, by the way, the tip of the crayon is like this. So I think you don't really need a lip pencil for this because it's sharp enough, pointed enough for you to go down the edges of your lips without it slipping away. And even the bullet is quite a thin bullet. So very easy to control. It's such a creamy formula for sure. It's not as pigmented as you would think. It needs like multiple swipes for the pigment to come through. And it's interesting. It's like a true brown, so quite deep. Very deep in fact. I thought this would be more like when you compare it to the bullet of the packaging, you would think this is definitely not this color, right? So as always, I expected this to be like a milk chocolate brown. It's super deep, and as I'm applying the lipstick, I can feel it drying on me, which is also interesting, which means this does dry down quite a bit. You can see there's literally no transfer. Wow, I'm very impressed with the fact that there's no transfer. I do remember trying the berry lipstick 2-3 times, and even then there was hardly any transfer, though there was a bit of feathering from the middle of the mouth when I had greasy meals and coffee. But this looks like quite a statement. This is Mahogany Matte from Haus Labs in the Le Monster Lip Crayon formula. I'll take this off and be back. Next, I have an Armani lipstick. This is the Rouge de Armani matte lipstick in the shade 200. It's a very deep brown with actually flecks of gold or flecks of shimmer in it. When I first tried it, I thought it didn't work on me, but it has grown on me, definitely. It's like a very deep, sorry, I should figure ways to do this. Let me put it here. It's like a very deep brown with like flecks of gold. Is it focusing? Yeah.
Comfortable with me, wanna hear your story, you and me like happy.
When I first tried this lipstick on, I thought it looked too vampish, but I wore this for a while and got used to it, and then when you look closely, you can actually see that there's a bit of flecks of gold in it. Somehow I feel that is softening the look up a bit. Definitely not the kind of color on me which I fell in love with the moment I saw it. Like it's something that's honestly grown on me. But more than this, what I really like is the formula. It is a matte lipstick, but it feels absolutely weightless. Very, very similar to the Makeup by Mario feeling. And I find that this color is a very rare color. I gravitated to it because the color was so different from what I had seen across other brands. And you know, it's hard to get shimmer in lipsticks right, because a lot of the times when you add shimmer in lipsticks, it can look really overpowering. But this is super subtle. It gives a bit of a shine to the lipstick without being too overpowering. And when you actually look closely, there are real flecks of gold in it, I think. I don't know, reddish gold. So I think it looks really, really nice. I don't know if it translates on camera, so please let me know in the comments below if this is a win or this is a fail. As far as comfort goes, I do think this is a win. The Armani also has some beautiful, I think it's called Lip Maestros. That formula, like it's like a liquid satin matte formula, very, very pretty, very comfortable on the lips, also makes your lips look juicy. But we are talking about the matte lipstick here, and honestly I find that this formula is a win. It's just a little hard to pair with the right appropriate makeup look. But when I look at myself in the viewfinder now, I think this is going with the current makeup look that I have as well. So this is the Armani, what is this called? Rouge de Armani Matte in the shade 200. That was our 8th brown lipstick. I just have 2 more to go. The next lipstick that I have is an oldie but a goodie. This is from Huda Beauty. This is the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick, Liquid Lipstick in the shade First Class. This is how the doe foot looks. It's a lovely, rich, chocolatey brown. Can you see it now? That's how it looks. A very thin, liquid, spreadable formula. It is heavily fragrance though, so if you don't like fragrance in your makeup or your skincare, then you might be put off by this lipstick. It's quite a thin, spreadable formula, so you don't need much. It's in fact very thin. I would venture that this is thinner than the Nutmeg Nude formula. It is so thin that sometimes when you put too much, I do find that some of it spills onto the teeth. So that's something you have to be careful while, you know, using these lipsticks. And I wish it didn't have such a strong fragrance. I think the alcohol content is also quite high. Let me double check that. But like I'm finding a bit of stinking, honestly, which is different. So this is actually a rebuy for me. I had the mini version of this lipstick, and every time I wore this lipstick, I used to get so many compliments, and I felt it was like the perfect brown for my skin tone. But I don't know, this version looks a bit deeper. I don't know she reformulated these lipsticks. I do wonder if she deepened this version, because I know she changed some of the shades as well. But these lipsticks do dry down beautifully. You just need to give it a bit of time. All of this is just one swipe, by the way. I also love the doe foot applicator. I think it gives a lot of control. And you can see even in the swipe here, right? You can see there's quite a reddish, maroonish undertone to this lip formula. So it's almost maroonish brown. Wow, it does dry down to a very, very beautiful color. I mean, let me know in the comments below, because if I'm like hallucinating, or if the previous version of First Class was a richer, more neutral milk chocolate brown. But I'm not mad, even though I had a different version of First Class. I think the formula is great. It dries down beautifully. Hardly transfers. So I think once you're a bit patient, just give it 2-3 minutes. Once it dries down, it will not budge. Of course, at least when, if I remember right, when you have greasy meals and coffee, it does have a bit of feathering, especially from the center of your mouth. So you need to be careful. I would highly recommend you take this along with you whenever you're stepping out. As far as formula goes, very happy with it. I just wish it didn't have that heavy fragrance or heavy alcohol content. I'm not sure if it's fragrance or alcohol or something, but there's something in this lipstick which is too strong. Of course, that scent goes away after some time, but when you first apply, and because it's so close to your nose, it's like overpowering, and I honestly wish it wasn't there. But this is the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick in the shade First Class. And that was our 9th lipstick. I'm going to take this off and come back with the very last lipstick of the day. Now we're on to our last lipstick, last 10th lipstick for the day. And this is from Rare Beauty. This is in the Lip Souffle formula in the shade Thrilling. This also has like a doe foot applicator. And it is like a really deep, vampish brown. It's possibly like the darkest brown that I own. Yeah, this is Thrilling. What really sets this lipstick apart is honestly the formula. It really feels like a souffle. It feels super plush, super comfortable on the lips. So you can start light, like I have here. So I just dabbed a bit and spread it out to give it like a light stain. And you can see the peachish, orangish undertones. And honestly, I think this is perfect for me. It looks beautiful on my skin tone. And because it also is kind of staining, it is more long lasting this way. See, there's hardly any transfer. So this is one version of this, but you can also load it with a bit more so that you can see the full power of the pigment, which is similar to this tube here. And then it gets really deep, right? Like so. What a stunning formula. And this color also, na, it's quite different. I think it definitely has peachish, orangish undertones. Now the one challenge that I have with deepening the pigment to its full potential is the formula itself is not, it's not liquidy or doesn't dry. So it collects at the sides of your lips. Like so, you know. Like it collects a lot, which I'm not a fan of. And also it transfers. Because I've just put too much, like it's too much of an excess. So this is a bit of a balancing act when it comes to this lipstick. I love the formula when it's used sparingly, but when you use too much of it to get the actual color of the lipstick, I don't like the formula. Like it's a slippery slope when it comes to this lipstick formula, but it still does make it to one of my favorite brown lipsticks because I think the formula really stands out in today's day and age when you compare all the lipstick brands and all the lipstick formulas out there. I think that's a fitting end to today's video. This was Thrilling from Rare Beauty, the Lip Souffle formula. We've tried 10 lipsticks today, ranging from light brown, nudish brown, just a hint of pure nude to a really deep brown. Wherever you are on the skin tone spectrum, I hope you found a nice brown or nice nude for you based on today's video. Of course, I will include the shade references for my skin tone in the description box below. Like I said, this should be a true representation of how it looks because I've made sure that I'm barefaced, like there is no foundation, so that I hope this can act as a useful reference whenever you're looking for similar color lipsticks. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful and useful. If you like this video, like me, like the vibes of this channel, I would love it if you would consider sticking around and subscribing to join this community. I would really appreciate if you do that. Please let me know your thoughts on this video. Which of these shades did you like the most? Are there any other browns that you prefer that I didn't get to feature in this video? Please let me know. And if you have any other video ideas of what I should be doing or talking about, please let me know. I'm always looking for inspiration, and I've realized that I love making videos and talking about beauty and beauty products all the time. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful and useful, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.
Beautiful.